大家好，最近这个俄罗斯小姐姐对加拿大人的吐槽哈，就像一记西伯利亚的大耳光，把不少人心目中那个彬彬有礼、温润如玉的加拿大滤镜给扇碎了。她说，加拿大举世闻名的 nice 和礼貌，本质上是一种虚伪和假善。她说，如果你穿的丑哈，俄罗斯大妈会说真丑，虽然很扎心，但是主打真诚不用猜。而加拿大人呢，表面上会对你狂点赞，Oh so pretty，但转身就在群聊里把你吐槽成审美黑洞。这种不爱冲突并不等同于真正的善良，它更多的是一种小国寡民的防御机制，用极度的礼貌来掩盖内心的空虚和嫉妒。但是面具戴久了总有崩坏的时候啊，看看新冠疫情就是最残酷的人格压力测试。2022年卡车司机抗议强制疫苗一瞬间，平时温良恭俭让的80%多数派几乎毫不犹豫地调转枪口，把20%没瞄的少数派打成了公敌。道德大棒比谁挥的都稳准狠啊！这种道德标榜在危机面前崩的那叫一个彻底，而且显得更加的卑鄙、可恨和虚伪。事实也再次证明，那层友善的皮真的薄如蝉翼。再看看隔壁老美啊，虽然也是一地鸡毛，但是人家行动力拉满啊，捐款真金白银，做事雷厉风行，童话力爆表，自信心爆棚，每个人都为自己是美国人而感到骄傲。而且美国精神正在回归那种硬核的、充满自信的强者精神啊！虽然乱，但是人家在解决问题啊，在遣返非法移民，在反击黑暗、反击 DS， 在减税、搞实业。而加拿大呢，永远是嘴强王者哈，在嘴硬，站在道德的高地指挥交通啊，永远像个受气的小媳妇儿，躲在邻居后面礼貌的抱怨。最扎心的是加拿大人抱怨的起劲儿哈，美国人根本不在乎加拿大人怎么想。最后，小姐姐戳中了加拿大最深的痛处啊，就是没有核心身份和认同，拼命的想迎合所有人，结果就是不敢定义我是谁。嘴上高喊多元文化，骄傲的不行哈，一旦新移民带着自己的文化汹涌而来，原本的加拿大特色找不着北。为了迎合所有的人而不敢定义自己是谁时，最后就是什么都不是。加拿大人的精神内核到底是什么？到底相信什么？难道仅仅是恨美国吗？如果一个国家的认同感仅仅是建立在我们比美国更有礼貌、更有素质、更有道德的这种比较的幻觉上，而不是建立在清晰的价值观和行动上，那焦虑只会越来越明显。那当邻居不陪你玩这套礼貌游戏，开始埋头搞钱、搞技术、搞改革、搞真正的强者竞争时这套认同一定会像冰雪一样消融，连渣都不剩。说到底，这场吐槽更像是一面镜子照出了一个国家的身份焦虑，想用礼貌当盔甲，想用多元当旗帜，却丢失了真诚的勇气和坦荡的自信。点赞加关注，真正的友善不需要那么多微笑面具，强大的认同永远来自于我知道我是谁，而不是我知道我比谁好。下期见。
This is a hot take, but Canada is a country of bullies parading around as virtue signalers.I came to Canada at just 12 years old, and my very first thought as a young kid was, wow, I've never seen more fake, hypocritical, and insecure people all in one place ever before in my life. If you're a Canadian watching this, this is not to say that 100% of the people are the same, not to paint every single person with the same brush. I have a few best friends that still live in Canada that I get to meet with outside of the country because I never wish to go back. But either way, there's some people that I really care about that live there. But my observation was of the average person. And that continued on from the moment that I was 12 to the moment that I was 18 to the moment that I finally left at 23. Honestly, before Canada, I lived in Russia. That's not exactly the warmest, kindest, least complicated place in the world. But let me tell you something about Russian people. At least we're direct.At least we're honest. If we don't like you, you're gonna know. That's not what I've observed with Canadians. In 99% of contexts with Canadians, it was like a Mean Girls skit reenacted. It was always like, hi, how are you? Oh my gosh, we should catch up. And then they never do. They don't care. Sincerely, they don't care if you die tomorrow. Sorry for the crude wording, but people need to know this. It's not good to be nice and polite if it's not sincere. And with most Canadians, it's so like, it's frowned upon to just be honest. They could hate you. They could hate what you're wearing. They could hate everything about you and still smile at you. So when I was in high school in Canada, and that was just the beginning of my journey, I was bullied not only by the girls my age, but I would say even more so by the middle-aged women. They're mothers. I would always go to school really nicely put together, dressed up, feminine, because that's in my Eastern European culture. Eastern European girls, we like to dress up. We like to look good. We don't care if we're going to school or to a special event. We like to dress presentably and elegantly. And just because of that, the rumors that I would hear coming from these terribly envious, insecure, middle-aged women were horrendous. I found out later that they would call me, for instance, the school bicycle. Are you catching on? I was always one of the most innocent people. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to drink. I always held conservative values, but for some reason, for being dressed a certain way that was feminine, I was an SLUT. Just because of the way that I was dressed, and they would make up stories and rumors. And this was propagated by women who you'd think are old enough to know better. It was really disgusting. But same with the kids. No one was friendly. No one was welcoming of a fresh off the boat immigrant. I did not experience that Canadian friendliness and warmth that's talked about in other countries. It's a myth. They'll smile at your face, and then as soon as you turn around, they'll happily throw daggers at your back. One main problem that everything boils down to with Canada is that there's no real core identity for what it means to be Canadian. If you think about it, what could you name? Hockey, maple syrup, or the whole sentiment of multiculturalism is our strength? That is the problem. It's not like the USA where people come in and they assimilate and they take pride in becoming an American. In Canada, it's everyone for themselves. Honestly, I've lived it. The Russians stick with the Russian, the Serbians stick with the Serbians, the Chinese stick with the Chinese, the Indians stick with the Indians. It goes on and on and on. It's just fact. And no one is uniting because no one has a single uniting cultural identity element to defend or take pride in. And at the end of the day, people are kind of spineless. Everyone is just kind of scared to offend the other person and scared to speak the truth. The Canadian society at large is not that of leaders. It's that of followers. It's just people looking over their shoulder, trying to see what their neighbor's doing and seeing if they copy them or if they envy them. It's really just so much envy, insecurity, and absolute fear of being authentic. That's exactly what I experienced. I was authentic in high school. I was authentic going forward as well, but I'm just using high school as an example. People didn't like it. They didn't like it that I stood out. And then when I left, they didn't like it that I continued holding my own opinions, holding my ground. I genuinely did not see any love or pride in that country.